The question is, who led you into that marriage? Who led you into that relationship? And who led you into that business? Do you know that if it's God that was leading you or that's led you into that relationship, that business, and that marriage, then when things are not going the way you expected it to go, there is need for you to run back to God. There is need for you to remind God His word. There is need for you to ask God the way out. There is need for you to relate with God. There is need for you to let God know what has been going on. So many of us get carried away when we get to that same marriage that God was the one who led us into. When we get to that same business that God was the one who gave us direction. When we get to that relationship that God was the one who asked us to get into it. When things are not going to our direction, we get carried away with unnecessary distractions and competition. Instead of us returning back to God who led us into it, instead of us going back to God who gave us His word from the very beginning. I don't know what is going on with your marriage right now, but the question is, who led you into it? The question is, in that relationship, who led you into it? The question is, in that business, who led you into it? God is not an author of confusion or distraction. If He's the one that has brought you this far, then He has every answer and every leading and every direction and every clarity that you've ever desired or you are asking right now. Maybe you get carried away by the stress in it, but there is need for you to pause and go back to that person who was the foundation, that person who led you into it. Do you know that in most of the relationship today and marriages, it is because our parents led us into it, our friends, our churches and our pastors led us into it. But if it's God that was the foundation of that relationship and the foundation of that business, when things don't happen the way they should happen, it is high time for you to return back to God. It is high time for you to ask God, what's next? There are so many instructions that we have gotten from God that need a constant reminder, that need a constant revisiting. We need to check it. We need to go back to it. God said this from the beginning. There is need for you to fall back to that same instruction when things are not going the way it should go. It is another beautiful week.